So all of these sheds, the goat shed for the males over there, the goat shed for the females and the babies here, and the hay barn are all dirt floor. Well, we've had a wet year this year, and being as everything out here is under trees, it takes a little bit longer for things to dry out when it does get wet. And if you've never had goats, their pens get pretty messy, and you know, when you couple that with the fact that it's on a dirt floor, it just makes it really tough to clean up. And then in our hay barn, we actually, because the ground got so wet and stayed wet, we had some of the hay get a little moldy, I believe, last year, so or over the spring. We repurposed it and used it for our garden for mulch, so that worked out. So what I'm doing is I'm going to concrete all the floors, and this is the first one I'm going to be doing. I've never done concrete work, but what I'm doing, I'm digging out the top, so I'm about 2 to 3 inches below the bottom of these baseboards. I'm going to fill that with gravel, the base that you would use under the concrete, so it'll come up to about the level of these 2x4s. And then I'll concrete to the top of the 2x4s. So I'll just leave them in there. They're forms, but they're also the bottom of the shed, so that'll be fine. They're all pressure treated. So that'll make it about a 3.5 inch thick pad, which should be fine. We're not walking on it. It's not getting a lot of traffic, just, you know, going in and out to get hay. We will have the milking stand here like we've had in the past. But other than that, it's just not going to get that much pressure. So I feel like 3.5 inches should be fine. Hopefully I never have to dig it out because I didn't go deep enough, but we shall see. So what I'm doing now is I've started the digging, and forgot to start recording beforehand. So I started to record just now. It was a welcome break because this is some pretty tough work. Using this pickaxe to just swing it and clear the dirt off, then I shovel it into the wheelbarrow, and I'm just dumping it over to the side there. So this is our temporary milking station, and makes me think I might actually build a lean-to onto this thing at some point. But we got the hay, the feed, and all that stuff out here, and so I'll put a tarp up. So that should hold it. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm gonna get back to work because I took long enough break to do this video, and I'll let you in on you know, I'll add some segments as I'm working on this a little bit, and then show you the finished product. Something tells me it's a good time to go do some mowing. Whew. Okay, so I got the floor dug out so I can put the gravel in, and let me tell you, that was a job. But it's done. Had to take a couple of days off because I had to go on a business trip, but the digging out's done. Now I got to get gravel, put it in there, get that leveled out, and then we'll put the concrete down. Okay, well, I got that load done, unloaded and in the hay barn. So I'm gonna go pick up another load. It's pretty late on Friday. They're gonna be closing before too long. So I'm gonna go pick up another load and then I'll unload it in the morning. I only live about 3 or 4 minutes from this quarry, so that makes it nice because I gotta take I probably gotta do, I'm thinking 3 trips total. So it makes it nice. Beautiful country out here. I love it. Here we are pulling up to the quarry right now. Gotta go jump on the scales, let them weigh my truck and trailer first. Load me up. All right, I just about got the left side done. Just dumped what should be my last load of gravel into here. Spread that out. Try to make it pretty even. Doesn't have to be exactly level. The concrete will level it out. Take a little bit out. All right, now I'll just tamp this down, get it pretty packed. All you young men going to the gym all the time, come hang out with me a little bit. You'll get a workout. All right, so that's pretty level. Should be plenty level enough. And then, like I said, the concrete will kind of level it on out. Well, it's been a few days since I was out here last working on this concrete job. And we had, the trees came down and the wind, and we had the grandkids come to visit. They're still here, but I have got to get this done. So I went this morning, rented a cement mixer. So I'm gonna be mixing the cement in the mixer and pour it in the wheelbarrow. And then I'll run it over here, pour it into, gonna do that side first. Once that's good and set up, then I'll go ahead and take that board off, put some, can't remember what it's called, but it's some kind of flex stuff that you put between the two pads to keep it from cracking so easily. So I'll be doing that, and I'll have to get more gravel in here, get that tamped down and everything for when I get that second one done. So I'm gonna get to work, but first, Ezra has been hollering for some hay, so I'm gonna have to go do that first. Hey, G. Hey, buddy. Get some hay. can. Let's go. Nothing in there. Come on. Let's go. Good boy. By the way, this is where I've been dumping all the dirt that I've dug out. Looks like I made a bathing hole for all the chickens in one spot. They are loving it. I'm sure I'm not doing this exactly right, but my main goal is just to get it as level as possible on these boards. And it's hard and you don't have someone across from you doing it, but I don't have room for them anyway because I'm doing this inside. Okay, I have all the concrete poured, and now I am doing what's called the floating, and it's this big trowel looking thing, and when you turn it, it tilts up at the front. You get to the end, you turn it again, and then you drag it back. And this is supposed to help it get level. If you were standing here, you'd say obviously that this is not a perfect job, but I'm pretty pleased with it for being the first time I've ever laid concrete. And I think it's going to work out just fine for the hay barn. Took 51 bags of 50-pound concrete. So I lifted over 2,000 pounds of concrete today. I'm 60, and that ain't easy. Well, the pad that I did yesterday turned out pretty good. It's not perfect. If it had a professional on it, it would have definitely been better. But it's going to be perfect for storing hay on. That's basically what this barn's going to be used for. The thing is, I just about killed myself because once you start pouring concrete, you can't take breaks. You have to just keep going, because by the time I started floating that part over there, it was pretty dry. Not dry, but you know, not as wet as you would want. So today, for this part, I'm going to put a form. I'm going to form 2 sections for this part. So that's what I'm going to be doing first, putting a board from here over to here. And I think that's going to help. I'll be able to do that and then take a break and then finish up the last part. So let me get to work. I'm going to be using these expansion joints between the pads. So for now, I'm going to put one right along that edge of the concrete that I poured yesterday. Then when that pad sets up, then I'll be putting one along this piece and along the edge of the new pad that I create. Before I do anything else, though, I got to show you what this livestock guardian dog is doing. Ezra, everybody's so comfortable. Just stay there. Okay, so that section is done. So just the one last section. I didn't show all the steps of it because I showed that in the first one, but this actually turned out pretty good. I got one little ridge there. I'm not sure quite how to keep that from happening because I'm having to work around that post and come in. But it's not a big deal. This is a hay barn, so it doesn't have to look perfect as long as it's sound. Okay, so here's how this transpired. I did that piece 6 by 10 on Saturday. Took me a lot longer than it would have if I had known the right way to use the mixer. I didn't tilt it far enough forward, so the cement was caking in the bottom, and I kept having to break it up. So, but I got that done. Took me about 6 hours, about killed me. The next day, I put a form across here. So you can see that's a 6 by 5 piece. So I did that on Sunday, yesterday. So it wasn't set up enough that I could take the form off yesterday and go ahead and get this piece done. So I decided, well, I'll just do it in the morning. Well, I get up this morning and it was a downpour. I mean, it was raining, just steady downpour. And I kind of wrestled with, do I want to go ahead and jump out there and get on it? Or do I wait and mix that piece by hand in the wheelbarrow? And just thought about it more and more and finally decided to brave the rain. So I went out, I fed the goats, milked Lily, and got to work. And I was able to do that piece in about an hour and a half. And was able to get the cement mixer back to the tool rental place at the time I was supposed to. So I was pretty proud of that. It doesn't look perfect, but I've never done concrete before. And the chickens seem to like that little walkway. Well, that's Buddy. She goes everywhere. Anyway, you know, for never having done concrete before, I'm really happy with it. This is not going to be really exposed to weather. The idea is to keep the hay dry. So we're going to do everything we can to keep it dry in here anyway. So I think it's going to be fine. It's plenty sturdy enough. That is about little over 2,000 pounds of concrete that I handled by hand. I did put a couple of bales of hay in here. Just wanted to be easier for Margie. I have to go away for a couple of days. Make it a little bit easier for her to get some hay out to the goats. So I'm pretty happy with it. And this is another proof that if I can do concrete work, anybody can. So if you have a small concrete job to do, just watch some YouTube videos. There's plenty out there that'll show you exactly what you need to do. And it helps a whole lot. So if this video has helped you in some way, please leave a comment and hit the thumbs up button. Like it and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Last I looked, I was at 999 subscribers. I'm not trying to make money with this thing. I'm just trying to help other people out. Try to share a little bit of what goes on here at the homestead. And but it'd be kind of cool to see that 1,000 subscribers. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. That really means a whole lot. If you've made it to this far, you've watched the whole thing. And that's a little bit of a time commitment. And I always try not to waste your time. If you take the time to watch one of my videos, hopefully you find it interesting at the very least. So until the next video, thank you so much again, and God bless you and your family.